What's up, Glenn? How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Good. Good. I'm almost ready. Let me go grab a bite to eat and some water before. Gotta get some popcorn. Get ready for Micah.
Cool, very good. Oh, let me turn this off. Yeah.
All right, I'm eating. Since I'm eating, I don't want to have my video on. That would be rude. Give me an update, Glenn. What's going on?
The second place I went to, they don't do corporate housing, not the way that we do it. So I'm going over the information for the second time, the videos that you produce, and I'm looking for a new spot.
Okay. Keep in the back of your mind, you are a superintendent. You're gonna be the best thing that ever happened to them. So
I appreciate it. I like your energy. You know, sometimes, as you know, energy.
Yeah, I know. No one wants rejection.
Yeah,
but you are.
Thank you. I need the encouragement. I really appreciate it, man. I really do.
Also, you can appreciate having a some type of barrier to entry, so not just anybody can just come waltzing up and compete against you, right?
That's very true.
They're gonna have to work a little bit at it. So
that's good. I'm gonna keep pushing until I make it.
Yes, and you absolutely will. In fact, if you didn't get rejected the first time, you would think it's too easy.
It's true. It's true.
So you're gonna work at it. You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. It's gonna be great.
Thank you for the encouragement. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I think I recorded some videos after I got smacked down. I just couldn't believe it. I took it personally. I really did. I was like, how in the world are you going to turn me down? I don't know what it was. It was just really personal to me.
Really?
The rejection, yeah.
Well, I remember Tony Robbins. How many times what does it take for you to keep going? You only need one.
Yeah.
And that's, the confidence that you get from doing that. I've been working on my car. I've never done this particular thing. And it took me 4 days to do this because I don't have $1,500. But I'm confident now that if it goes out again,
yeah,
I can do it in 20 minutes.
Perfect.
So.
Perfect. Let's see. We got Andrew on. How you doing, Andrew? Let me ring Marquise, make sure Mike, and make sure he didn't fall asleep on us. Let's see, he's looking for a link. Let me send this to him. Our main presenter is trying to jump on, so you guys bear with me while I find my Zoom link for this. Oh, you know what? It's going to be in the emails I've been sending you guys. And here we go. Let's see here. There we go. Welcome, everybody. We're just getting set up here. Don't go anywhere. John, how you doing? Miria, how you doing? Got Matt on. And we're getting there. Let's see if Mike is going to be joining us soon. Chelsea, good to see you.
Hi, Al. How you doing?
Good, good. This is a good view of you. You're such a looker.
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Let's see. I'm going to try to email him as well. Oh, there he is. Big Daddy himself. Micah, how you doing, sir? Got to get some volume on you. I see you're unmuted, Micah. There you go.
Right.
There he is. Look at that pro setup. Hey, congratulations on the new kid coming your way.
Thank you.
That's incredible. It's incredible. I'm surprised. I'm surprised you guys don't have a bigger family as good looking as your wife is.
I think we're gonna call it quits at 2.
I heard that. Here, let me put this on. That light. There we go. My family went to a museum or something. I don't know where they went, but it's nice. It's nice and quiet now.
Oh yeah, that happens.
Yeah. Okay. You are the main guest, guys. This is Micah. His show is Live, Let, Thrive. It's a podcast. He interviews the best of the best related to short-term rental folks. So he's our very own source, our very own encyclopedia. And I wanted to let him run the show and see what we can learn from him. And Micah, do you have a theme song I should play or anything before I let you on?
I usually just play the theme to the podcast, but we don't have to do a theme song. But
okay, man.
Yeah,
hey,
I can just let me know. I can just go off the top of my head.
You
while on the
just
journey.
go.
Okay.
Let's see what you got.
So yeah, I'm Micah. I'm half of the host of Live, Let, Thrive. We've grown it to be, I believe we're the second longest running short-term rental podcast now at this point. Al was one of our very first guests, which we started almost 5 years ago. But yeah, I've built a short-term rental portfolio. We have over 400 plus timeshares listed as short-term rentals. We have about, I think, 4 houses and 2 in the works. And then we have 10 corporate leased arbitrage apartments that we do. And me and my wife started our company, which is ShareBnB. We started it at the end of 2016, and we've grown it this much, and we're still growing today. We basically do 3 types, which are your basic arbitrage, and we buy using creative ways such as the burst strategy, owner financing, and then we also do our timeshare model. Those are our 3 ways of doing the arbitrage model. Best tips on that is just really getting started, finding your niche, having your goals set out, what you want to do. If you want to own, find creative ways to own. I'm against just going and putting 20% down on a property to do a short-term rental on. I'm all about being creative, keeping as much money in your pocket while you're also getting extreme cash flow from the short-term rental and corporate lease side. If there's anything, Al, you want me to specifically go over and how I got started, let me know, ask questions, and I can just go, and it'll probably turn into a story.
Why don't you tell us what if there was any type of resistance that you faced?
Oh,
People,
resistance.
people, people need to hear about the resistance of you facing as you're getting started.
Oh, I'm going to tell you the biggest piece of resistance I had when we first started. We first started the business. We actually started with a condo. And of course, condos are no on the short-term rental side of things, of anything under 30 days. So, and that's actually how I ran into the corporate model of doing corporate rentals. So we pretty much, our very first property was a condo in an HOA, and we were doing short-term rentals, and we were getting a few long-term stays, not many, because we weren't advertising correctly like we know now. So they shut us down. They sent us a letter saying you have to stop. If not, we're going to put a lien on the property. Of course, they put a lien on the property. You have to pay that. So that was the biggest barrier to entry. And what we ended up doing, we ended up going into the corporate route. So we started getting with companies. I don't know if you can see this behind me, but this is like pretty much our whole vision board of how we have our company. We partnered with Dan Housing. We partnered with Furnished Finder, Traveling Nurses. We actually even took a tip out of Al's book, and we sat at some of the extended stays and took note of the companies that were staying there, called their housing directors, and we actually started getting housing coming in to our condo after it had been shut down. That was one resistance. The other resistance that we went through was the corporate leases with the actual apartment complexes. We had to make sure we had everything set up in our LLC name. Even if someone says you can do a corporate lease there, make sure it's in writing. Two, you have an LLC. We didn't have our LLC at first. We had one property that was shut down because of that, because new management rolled through and nothing was in writing. So I would definitely say, make sure you have things in writing, make sure you have a LLC set up, and make sure you're a presentable business. Website is always the best thing. I'm very big on branding. What I do with any guest that comes in, I don't care if they come in from Airbnb, if they're corporate, we make sure they see our brand at least 5 times before they leave our place. And we pretty much got that from, we went and toured, we stayed at a Marriott, and I just started noticing, I'm like, they have Marriott on everything. Some of their bath towels, their little soaps, as soon as you walk in. So we took that same model and we started putting it on. It's our doormats. When you walk in, it says it's Airbnb. When you pick up a glass to drink coffee, it has our net logos on it. When you turn on the TV, a big logo says "Welcome to Airbnb." Just make sure constant branding. We also use certain systems to capture guest information, such as StayFi. So when they log into the Wi-Fi, they have to put in their first name, last name, email. That email gets shot over to our MailChimp, and they're now in our email rotation. It's just really heavy on branding. That's how I am, especially between last year when the pandemic started. We had started really branding in January. And then, of course, in March, the pandemic hit. And luckily, it saved us because we had guests who had direct information to get a hold of us. Branding, but yeah, that's my big thing is branding and marketing.
Let me pause you on the branding. Does the branding show up in any of your pictures?
Yes, I put the branding in the pictures. I actually put a logo up in the middle of the pictures, just a logo, so they have to slide by it. I would even suggest putting your logo up 2 or 3 times, so when they're clicking the pictures, they're getting that brand stuck in their head. A lot of the times, like if you have someone on Vrbo or Airbnb, when they see that brand multiple times, they'll just go to your website. And we have a cool little chat bot on our website. So when they come in there and they type us a message, all their information, like if they're signed into Google Chrome, we get their email and we can email them, and then we can talk directly with them.
Good, good. I was wondering if Airbnb will allow you to have your branding in there, in the pictures that you put up on Airbnb.
That's a very good question. So you can have it up as long as you can have it up now, but I've seen people starting to take it a step further, and I don't know how it's working out for them. But what they're starting to do is they will put their brand on there, but also put their contact information in there. I haven't gone that far yet, but the branding thing, they don't seem to mind so far. If they say anything in the future, I'll definitely let you guys know. But now, like, let's say I have a new place. Currently, I have a new place that's coming and it's not ready yet. We do have a name, our brand, and our phone number on that picture because it's not there yet. And it says, hey, coming soon, here's our contact information. You can call or you can go directly to our website.
And you have that on Airbnb?
Yes.
Wow, that seems like that'd be,
It,
um,
it's a risk, but that listing isn't up yet and all the dates
yeah,
are closed. So when all
okay,
the dates open up, we'll remove that picture and just put our brand in there.
right on. Now, I've seen your doormat a while ago. That was pretty slick. Where'd you get that made?
Check out this place called Bling Pros. They're based out of Austin, Texas, and I partnered with them. And I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be getting a bunch of doormats made. I'm gonna need doormats." And they're like, "Oh, we'll make them for you." And they were like, "Hey, we'll if you start buying them in bulk, we'll charge you like $25 a piece." And I've been working with them ever since.
Right,
Um,
right
yeah,
on.
great.
You have
Go
an
ahead.
affiliate with them?
I need to make one. I don't
Yeah,
know how many. Yeah, I'll definitely need to make one.
I'll keep it. If you do, I'll put it in in the recording here.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bling Pros, great places for branding is Bling Pros. Of course, StayFi, and another place is Vistaprint has really good stuff to brand as well. Pillows, coffee mugs, a lot of good stuff on Vistaprint as well.
Yes. Now, how do you get your logo as a splash page on your TCLs and smart TVs? How do you do that?
Oh, it's so and this is a really good question. So whenever your guest comes in, a lot of people will supply them Netflix accounts and things like that. I actually got away from doing that. And what we did on our TCL TVs, we put all our TCL TVs in guest mode. So as soon as the guest turns the TV on, the TV is in guest mode. It asks them, "Hey, what's your check-in date? What's your check-out date?" And what happens is they put that information in, and now they can put in all their information, their Netflix, whatever, and it automatically logs them out. Now, and when the TV is in guest mode, you can go into the TV and type in this thing called welcome message, and you can change that welcome message to say, "Hey, welcome to corporate housing, welcome to Share B&B." You can put whatever you want in to say that, and it'll come right up, and then they put in their information.
Oh, that's like, is that for all brands of TVs?
I only seen it with the TCL Rokus.
TCLs?
Mhm.
That's real smart. So you're lowering your expense by not having to carry those streaming services.
Yes, I don't even have to carry. I don't even give streaming services anymore.
Wow,
I
no
just give them
pushback on
access.
that, or
What was that?
no pushback on that at all?
No, no pushback. A lot of guests like the fact that they can log into the TV with their own information, like, and they know, hey, everything's going to be logged out the day that I leave.
Yeah,
They loved it.
I gotta phase that in. That's a good
Mhm.
tip, man. I guess we're
Oh,
gonna pull that out as a ninja tip.
oh yeah, it's definitely. We actually had a whole profit first conversation about cutting expenses, and I was like, we might be able to get away with cutting Netflix and Hulu and all that, and it's been working so far.
All right, all right. Here, let me open it up for folks. Anyone have a question? Why don't you go ahead and raise your hand, and we'll put you up first. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep peppering him with questions.
Oh yeah, you can keep going. I got answers.
Nicole here. I do have a question.
Go ahead.
When you are partnering up with these other corporate housing establishments, how is that partnership working?
When you
Is that
say
what you're doing? I'm not sure if I'm understanding you correctly. When you are approaching these landlords, are they already established corporate housing developments? Is that who you're approaching? Or
no,
is it more of a traditional route?
it's a little bit of a traditional route. So I approach two ways. I either approach a landlord or I'll approach like an apartment complex. I'm getting away from the
Okay.
complex, but on the complex side, I just present them, say, "Hey, we're a corporate housing company. This is who we serve. We need X amount." I usually get 5 units at minimum if I'm going that route, just for leverage. Hey, I need 5
Okay.
units here, and this is who I serve. This is our company. That's what I was saying. Be presentable. Make sure you have a website, your EIN, all that information up front. And then I also do approach landlords as well. We're actually furnishing a house right now that we got from a landlord who had just kind of, I think they had left. It was a partnership deal I did with a partner of mine, and we're working on getting that one up and running right now as well.
Are you meeting with them in person for the most part when you approach them?
I used to, but now that's the power in partnerships. Me approaching people, I'm really introverted. That's not my strong point. My partner, Michael, that's what he loves to do is talk to people. So he usually does the approach and I just sit back and I do the tech nerd stuff that I'm good at. But that's how he usually approaches it. He'll let them know, and he's really connected. He's very smart at putting things out there with people, and that's how we get a lot of leads.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Hi, this is Glenn. How you doing? Question. I had a few questions. What state do you recommend getting your LLC in? I have one already for in Wyoming, but it was did some stuff in for buy and hold. Do you recommend I get it also in Wyoming and or stay with the LLC that I already have, or create a new one?
You can either stay with the one you already have. As far as states, I've heard the two best states, and I don't have LLCs in these states. The two best states that I hear for my tax perspective would be, I believe, Delaware and Nevada. I haven't opened LLCs there. The LLCs that I open, I live in Texas, though that's where I open my LLCs, but I do a lot of business in Arkansas. So I just use my Texas LLC in Arkansas, and it's been working just fine. It also, I guess your LLC also look at cost. Like I know in the state of Arkansas, you can get an LLC for $25, you know, so you have to look at cost as well if you want to really just cut back on your costs while doing it.
Now, you also stated that you were pulling away from apartment complexes. Why is that?
I've found with apartment complexes, there's a lot of logistics. And also I noticed there's a cash flow thing as well. When I'm doing homes, the cash flow is almost triple. And the reason why it's triple and quadruple is because of how we're getting the home. So we actually just got an offer accepted today, but I just did a BRRRR deal. So we ended up buying this house for $48,000, putting $24,000 worth of work into it, putting it on as a short-term rental. We're cash flowing the first 2 months. We're cash flowing more now, but we've cash flowed $2,000 the first 2 months, $2,000 each. And then on the other side, we refinanced it, got all our money back, and we can go do it again. So we ended up spending only $4,000 for this house. That's why I like houses, and that's why I like the creative finance play and doing creative ways to get houses.
So what he's saying is he's going in as an owner.
Wow.
So it's going, anytime you go in as an owner, you can get a bigger spread, but he's being real ninja about that.
Yeah.
Here, let me get Mira in, and then we'll keep going. Mira, you had your hand up.
Hey, thanks for doing this. So I am just about to do the arbitrage where I'm going to go through an apartment complex. I got pushback about 4 months ago when I originally started because I got the EIN, but I didn't have the business credit. So I spent the past 4 months trying to build up some business credit. I don't have the LLC. I should have done that. The place I went to didn't ask me for an LLC. They wanted the business credit. But your thoughts on, I'm planning on doing one apartment, one bedroom, furnishing it just to start, with minimal cost, but at least get it out there. Do you think that's the best way to go? Or am I being too chintzy by just doing a one bedroom?
One, it's market dependent, but I do think it's the best way to go because it gets your feet in the water. It's very market dependent. I'll say in the DFW, we're very oversaturated with one bedrooms, but I mean, just do your market research and remember, at the end of the day, it's a learning process. All you're going to do with that one bedroom is learn, and what you're going to do is learn and take it to the next step. Now, I actually wanted to answer a question you just said about business credit, because that's very, very important, and not only important for that first pickup, but important for the future of your business, in my opinion. Make sure you use Chase credit cards to build your business credit. You can use Chase credit cards. I use Chase, and what we do is to kind of hack the system. I put myself as an owner and my wife as an owner. So then you can get 6 of their business credit cards. A lot of people end up getting 3 and stop. You can get 6. And then you also need to get on nav.com. Get on Nav and make sure you pay them $40 a month, and they'll report themselves as a trade line for you. And they also keep track of all your trade lines that you currently have open, and you can pull that anytime off their app. Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it's the first one. I'm having a lot of butterflies in my stomach because I just want to pull the trigger on it. But I'm glad to hear you said that was kind of where you started too.
Yeah.
Now Mira's she's going to be in Florida. You got any tips on Florida, Micah?
Oh, what part?
Well, here's the thing. I'm in Jacksonville and I've done some research. It's just a booming area. I was actually thinking about doing a 1-bedroom by the Mayo Clinic. We have a Mayo Clinic here. And we have a lot, I understand there's a lot of people who come for treatment or who are medical professionals. And I thought maybe try to set up, try to push towards, the short-term rental or extended stay by the Mayo Clinic.
You can't lose doing that. And one thing we always have to also realize this is why I love medical centers. We have 5 out in Houston, right down the street from the medical center, and they're always booked. And the reason why I love medical centers is we always seem to focus on the traveling nurse, but we sometimes forget that some people do have to come to the hospital for treatments for longer periods of time. And we sometimes forget about those guests. So sometimes it's good to have, like, if they don't have like I don't like first floor units, but if you can preferably get like a unit that has elevators inside, where people can go up and down, those people who are coming for the hospital in general, you can cater to them.
Yeah, that's my whole marketing plan. I've decided to really try to hit the medical center and make that my niche to start out.
Yeah, you can't lose them, sort of. There you go.
Wait, let's pause for a second. We're gonna have your hand go down, Muriel. But,
okay, get it down.
But Muriel, I want you to open your ears. Micah, with what she just told you, is she not super savvy and overqualified for this? What's your impression of her?
She killed it. She already knows. She already has if you already have your target.
Thank you. He's trying to make me feel better because he knows I'm freaking out.
Yeah, listen. You got this. You really do. Anyone comes close to you knows that you got this. So just step into it, okay? You really do got it.
Yeah. If you already have your target customer picked out, you're ahead of the game.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
All right. Wait, no, Mira, I want to hear you say it. I want to hear you say, I got this.
I got this.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Hey, Micah, let's drill down a little bit on your lessons learned with Profit First. Just give us an overview of what it is and what your takeaways are.
Oh man, Profit First, that changed my whole life and the trajectory of my business. Basically, if you haven't read this book, it's called Profit First by Mike Malkovich. I don't want to mess up his last name, but I probably just butchered it. But yeah, what it does is it pretty much teaches you how to grow your business while also paying yourself. And it teaches you to run your business on percentage profit, on percentage margins. What we sometimes do in business, this is what most people do in business. I did it for a long time. We get our money. That's our income. We take away our expenses, and then we call that profit. In this book, everything that comes in is given a purpose. So X amount goes to your operating expenses account, X amount goes to your taxes, X amount goes to your owner's pay, and X amount goes to profit. So as soon as your money comes in, you now have a purpose for it. And then what he tells you is, if let's say you don't have enough money for your business to operate, it means your operating expense is too low. So you need to adjust those numbers. I would tell anyone, if you can read that book and just apply it to your business, you will grow quick. Like we've literally been doing it for 2 months, and the benefits have been outrageous in how we've seen our company not only be able to grow, but being able to pay yourself and then also be able to keep operating the give
us a detailed example on one thing that you stopped doing and started doing.
One thing that I stopped doing after I read the book, I stopped just using any type of credit card. Like, he's against using credit cards to pay bills, but he gave me a really bright idea in there. I only use credit cards with high cash back. So what I'm doing to save money is I use my Amex card to pay all of my bills every month. And then I can usually get about 50 to 60 bucks back in cash. So that's usually like a utility bill. That's one thing I learned, how he taught me to pay. And I was like, oh, wow, I could do that. So
that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And give us something that so you stopped using any old credit card. Mm-hmm. What's another thing that you started doing because you were prompted?
One thing I started doing was looking at my expenses every month and seeing where I can cut back. So then I know in the next month I can go down a percentage on my operating expenses just by sitting there looking, making sure there's nothing I was charged for. So for example, one thing I stopped using was I I stopped using the, what was it called? Like Smart B&B. I realized I was double paying for it because I could switch all my messaging over to my Your Porter, and that messaging takes care of my direct booking website, my Airbnbs, my Verbos, all that. And so I just found little small things like that. That's a whole $80 a month gone.
Now, your
Right.
company's named Smart B&B, right?
It's what?
Or your company called Share B&B, right?
Correct. We're Share B&B.
And that app is called what?
Smart
Is it-
B&B.
Okay, Smart B&B.
Mhm.
Okay. So it does mention. So you're working off of My Porter for all of your units.
Yeah, we're using Your Porter, and the reason
Porter.
we really like it is due to the cost and the website feature.
The website feature is as far as how it presents your properties on in one
Correct.
spot.
And then you can it gives you a direct booking website, and it's been a game changer for us. We love it.
Good. All right, let me open the floor up. Anyone shake out any questions for you guys? Go ahead and unmute yourself. Glenn, I see you have your hand up.
Yes, I'm a little nervous. What do you recommend we do? I'm in the DC area. What do you recommend? Because I'm, be straight up. I get nervous and get butterflies. What do you recommend to get little victories that we can do to keep us going?
I'm going to tell you what really keeps me going is my morning routine. I know this is going to kind of sound cliche, but like what I do is this has been really helped me going. I read 10 pages out of a book every morning. And after I read those 10 pages, I go work out. And what that does is not only does it activate my brain first thing in the morning, it then activates me because I'm getting my heart rate up. And then I'm also have a focus on what I'm doing. If you focus on something and you have a driving desire for it, it'll manifest and come because you're going to eventually take action on it. But you have to have that driving, burning desire just to get it. Even if it'll conquer the butterflies. It will definitely conquer those butterflies.
Thank you.
No problem.
That's good. My mastermind group that I hope you guys all know that I get coached. So just by to be qualified to coach you guys. So I have people pour into me. And one thing we were talking about this month was just being ordinary and extraordinary, the difference of that. And is hating to do the work and then loving to do the work as you move through it. And then you can do some nearly impossible things, but you just have to get through it. The morning routines, all those types of things helps you do the hard stuff. And that's simply what makes you extraordinary is you do the hard stuff.
Love that.
Otherwise, Glenn, I'm gonna be at your funeral and they say, he was an average guy.
No, that's not happening. Not happening. I'm gonna work through it. Thank you both.
All right. How about anyone else have a question? Or I'm gonna dive into some other things. Okay, Micah, tell us about your furniture. Were you the cat who was telling me that you do something special with your cost of furnishings, or was that another person? How do you handle it?
I do a little bit what I've been doing with furnishing lately. So I do an interior designer, but when we first started doing the interior designer, we seen the cost was really high. So I was like, how do I get the cost down? So what I did was, and it started saving me $4,000 to $5,000 a setup by doing this. I created an Amazon Business Prime account. And if you don't have one, I suggest you get one because if you order anything in bulk, they give you a discount. Not Amazon Prime, Amazon Business Prime. So we created an Amazon Business Prime account and we order all of the necessity items ourselves. Beds, like the mattresses, beds, utensils, all of that. We order it in bulk ourselves, get a major discount from Amazon Business Prime, and then we have a designer come in behind us and they just get the design stuff, couches, the bed frame, how the bed frame is going to look. And that's how we've been saving lots of money. We saved about probably $8,000 on this current setup from just doing that. So
Was that a 3-bed, 2-bath, or what size
three bed,
place
two
was
bath,
it?
3-bed, 2-bath.
So you're able to go in and do the purchase in the burr because your price points are lower, or do you think
Yes.
that same policy will work in DC and Florida and California?
That'll work. The burr will work anywhere. And what I've noticed on the arbitrage side, to really, really make that hit on the arbitrage side, you got to negotiate your first month's rent, your last month's rent, and then see if you can get 3 to 4 months, 3 to 4 weeks free. If you can get I've seen people get 2 months free. If you're that good of a negotiator, go for it. But I think that's the real big thing on the arbitrage side.
Yeah, that'll help you that first month, and it just puts you towards break even faster, for
Yes,
sure.
it does. Quickly.
For sure. Okay, floor's open again. Don, you're kind of in the same. Don, you're kind of in the Baltimore area. Don Lewis, you got any questions for him? I know you're trying to get fired up again.
Yeah, I'm actually right outside of DC, and I had presented a question to Al about crime factor, crime rate. I was looking at a unit that I'm interested in, but I looked at the police reports, and they were talking about a lot of break-ins in the cars are being broken into in the community. Now the property is beautiful. It's not too far from a newly opened medical center, about maybe 5 minutes drive, 6 minutes. So I was going to do more like a, visiting nurses and doctors and stuff like that. But that crime factor I'm like backing out now because I'm not sure. And they're going to see people with out of state plates. And I feel like that's going to be a target. So what are your thoughts, Micah?
What kind of property is it? Is it an apartment complex?
Apartment complex. It's a high rise, like penthouse view over the water type of thing. It's in the suburbs, but it's a nice spot, a nice looking spot.
What are the Google reviews say? Like, what's their Google rating?
Ooh, I didn't look at that. I just looked at I just read the reviews itself, but I didn't go to the Google review.
So one thing we do, if we're going to go into an apartment complex, and one of my mentors taught me this. She told me I don't ever go anywhere if it's a 4 if they don't have at least a 4.5 or higher rating on Google. So if you look for crime, you're always going to find crime. If you look for crime in your neighborhood and you do a crime, you're going to find some crime, right?
Yeah.
But just look at the apartment complex ratings. And also another reason why you want those apartment complex ratings to be fairly high is because whenever you get an apartment complex where their ratings are really low and the tenants, the regular residential tenants are upset, that's usually going to bring forth a shift in management. And that happens. And now what you're stuck with is you have these leases, which they protect you, but you might have to end up going and representing yourself to the management of the new management that came in to take over for the bad management that was currently there. So Google reviews are very, very helpful. I wouldn't look too much into the crime if you're in a complex. Is the complex gated?
Yes, it's gated. They have a keypad to come in and out, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
They have security on site and a pool and all that kind of stuff. So aesthetically, it looks good, but I was just concerned about that.
Yeah. Now, if you go on the Google reviews for the apartment complex and then you see a bunch of, hey, my car was broken into, then that's more of a concern. But if the Google ratings are fine, then it's just the proximity crime of the area. You know what I mean? It might not necessarily happen in that complex.
Correct. Thank you.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, that was a good tip. Good tip. Anyone else? You guys got to get it while it's hot. All right. Good. All right, so let's talk
I actually
about.
have a quick question.
Oh, go ahead,
Um,
Chelsea.
I was wondering if you have any other tips for selling yourself when you're trying to arbitrage a unit. I know a lot of people are encountering a lot of resistance from landlords. I'm wondering if you have like any kind of templates or any kind of certain phrases that you use that help with that.
Ooh, first thing first, I haven't done the pitch in a while, but I will tell you now, have a target customer, and be presentable, have a target customer, and make sure you're branded really well. So then when they Google who you are, they can just see straight up who you are. And it depends on the complex if they're going to say yes or no. So for example, I know some complexes, they're really big on business credit, and really the fastest way, if they're a complex that's big on business credit, most of the time, they're not really going to run a business background check on you. They're just going to Google your LLC. And then after your LLC name, they're just going to type in the word DNB. And if nothing comes up, they're probably going to reject you. But if you're listed everywhere, you have a Dun and Bradstreet, it's usually going to be a yes. But I think does that answer your question?
That does. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Just kind of be branded, have everything up front. Try to avoid the word Airbnb too. Let them know that you're a corporate housing company and you have clients that you cater to.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it's okay to let them know you're new as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Glenn, is that you again? You got your hand up?
Yes.
Okay.
So you recommend, thank you, getting a website built before we actually go out and attempt to obtain opportunity?
Yeah, but I would don't go really, really big on the website. You can really create like a splash page that says, "Hey, this is Glenn's corporate housing company," and just look professional. We've taken the liberty of having that, and then we also have a About Us page. We have where they can actually book and things like that. But just starting off, yeah, don't get kind of pushed back by the whole website. A splash page will work as well.
What's a splash page?
Just a quick page they go to. So if you were to go to my website, sharebnb.com, that's just a splash page. It says, "Hey, we provide short-term furnished housing for traveling professionals." And that's just the splash page. And then you can go into the website.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Hey, Matt, I see your hand up.
Hi, I was wondering what sort of budget is appropriate for furnishings. What I have is a 3-bed, 1-bath, 1,400 square feet unit. So I've reached out to a variety of folks to kind of, inquire as to how they might go about it. And I'm getting, quite a range of numbers. So I don't know really how to attack it.
What's budget is sometimes dependent upon location. Where are you located?
St. Louis.
St. Louis. Okay, that's not too far. On a 3-bed, 1-bath in St. Louis, I'm not sure the exact numbers, but I look at my setup is kind of high because of the things that I order. But if you're just getting up a unit, 3-bed, 1-bath, depending on how fast you want it up as well, because if you want it quick, you can go Amazon some stuff and you may pay a little bit more. Or if you just want to slowly get it, it doesn't have to be fast. You can use things like Facebook Marketplace. And I've seen people do 3-bed, 1-bath. You can do that for $5,000 or less. Some people might do it for $3,500 if
That
you want to
sounds
take the
hustling.
time to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Time's a huge factor in that as well.
So Matt, is also a question of when you want to break even. That's really important thing as well.
Mhm.
So if you're on the conservative side and you think that you're only really going to have profit or money that you're going to be able to spend after you pay yourself back, that's the break even. You may want to either work with a funding partner or hustle to keep your prices down. One of those things either, but make sure you have it framed around payback is always what you should be thinking about when you think about. Go ahead.
What's the kind of the quick summary of how to approach a funding partner? Like what sort of terms would you throw out there and that sort of thing?
Micah, you're on the hot seat, man.
On a funding partner? Ooh, I've usually been the funding partner lately because of, but no. So let me see my first ones we did. No, wait, matter of fact, we just did one where we actually gave them 12% interest only on a 15,000. And I think we picked up, no, that was actually one. So it was 10%, 15% interest only, but it was on a, it was a bridge loan. So really, you could give someone 10% on 5,000 interest only if you want to just do your furnishings, and you could probably pay them back in a few months and then overload them with money and get it all back, and then everything else is profit. That's really more private money. Me personally, what I've been doing, that's why I'm real big on the lines of credit, on business lines of credit, and making sure you have your business credit. What I do now is I use my business lines of credit to acquire things, and then I just pay it back and then go get some more, if that makes sense to you.
Okay, cool. Okay, thanks very much.
So Matt, that's a long conversation. I was on the stage with Wendy Sweet, who does a lot of private lending, and maybe we'll bring her in on a feature call. We'll drill her down with all of her information. She has a lot of information about funding short-term rentals, companies that do that. But the first thing she's going to tell you is just to become a really good real estate investor, you got to learn the basics of working with people's self-directed IRAs, because there's a slew of money just sitting around, and people are looking for small dollar opportunities. And you can do the 8%, 10%. You can get the money quickly. You just need to spend some time educating yourself about and feeling comfortable asking people if they have self-directed IRAs. And then you'll have all the money you need.
Good tip.
Okay,
Yeah, so there's all kinds of things that you can pick your favorite type of money. Micah likes his business line of credit because he's fast and he doesn't have to he doesn't really have to deal with anybody, which is always fun to do that. And then there's different types of money out there that you can actually help someone get richer by having them lend money to you. So there's lots of things you can do. Good question. Good question. Let me lower your hand here, and I'm trying to lower your hand. There we go. Who else wants to pepper him with a question? This is good. Good conversation. Oh, I have no idea what that's. Probably an Amazon delivery right there. Hey, Micah, let's talk about where you're trying to grow your business to.
Okay.
Where are you trying to get it to next year?
Well, our goal really right now is to get more properties that we actually own. We've been doing the arbitrage thing for 3 or 4 years. We're trying to at least probably have, if not by next year, by the beginning of 2023, at least have 20 properties that we own. We may even hop into the multifamily space to get there quicker, but just doing one burr at a time has been really helpful for us. And it's a lot of the great part about it is the learning curve. So really just we're learning more real estate strategies, such as the burr strategy, owner financing, things where, like, I know Al loves this, getting in very low and letting those profits be really high, really quick. And that's what I love about, like, the owner finance. I'm actually working on a deal where I can possibly get an entire house for $4,500 if everything works out. So doing stuff.
Wait, you're gonna have to tease that one out more. You're not gonna be able to drop that one and run. $4,500.
Yeah. So basically, this owner, he pretty much just wants out of this property. He just wants cash. So I got it from a wholesaler. The wholesaler was like, look, in total, I think it came out to like 11,000, meaning the wholesaler would have got 4,500 and the seller, I think he wanted like 7,500. So it might be a little bit more, like 12,000 or something, 12,000. So I was like, I had to get creative. I'm like, okay, I don't want to come out of pocket $12,000. How do I get creative? I first approached him. I said, hey, would you take $2,500 up front? And then and I presented him to who I was. I said, hey, I'm a short-term rental operator. I have short-term rentals all over the state. I said, what I'll do is I'll pay you out to get you the rest of your 7,500. I'll give you 2,500 up front. I will give you the first 2 months of everything that we make doing the arbitrage. I'll give it to you. And if it hits the 7,500 in the 2 months, we then do the owner finance where I'm paying you 1,600 a month every month. I tried to see if that would work. And then I'd give the wholesaler her whole 4,500. He didn't like that. So he came back and I was like, okay. I told the wholesaler, I'm like, how about we give him your whole 4,500 up front and me and you partner on the deal? And she's like, oh, I didn't think about that. And I'm like, then you will make more over the course of the 2 years, the 2 years that we're going to be on the owner finance. We give him the 4,500 and then we just pay him the 1,600 a month and we set it up and we do the corporate style to it.
That's good. And that's something that I want to drive home while we're here is most of us know someone who has a little money. And instead of us taking all the benefit for ourselves, split the deal. Bring them in on the deal so that they get the upside as well as just you. So that win-win has been working for a long time, that type of mindset. Mirio, come on, what's my favorite CPA have to say?
My question is what you were just talking about, that house. So when I hear something, I think, one, where is this house located? Are people going to be wanting to do short-term rentals there? And two, what type of shape is it in?
Oh, that's the best part about this house. This was a 2009 built house, brand new, barely any work needed. And this is in Jacksonville, Arkansas. This was right by the Air Force Base. And this is one of the places that I target. It's right by an Air Force base and it's right by a hospital. So I walk into that market with 2 potential clients. I have the hospital market, traveling nurses, people coming to the hospital. Then I have the people coming to the Air Force Base, their families, and the actual airmen coming in. But yeah, it didn't even need that much work. This guy just wanted cash. This is a rare deal, a very rare deal, but they're out there. It's just a matter of putting yourself out there to make sure you can get a hold of those deals.
Go ahead, Miria.
Excuse my naivety, but I don't know what a wholesaler is.
Wholesalers are basically people that they pretty much assign contracts. So a wholesaler will go tie, like I just worked with a wholesaler today. This wholesaler probably tied up this property for $60,000. So the owner of the property is going to get $60,000, but I'm going to pay $65,000. So the wholesaler gets a $5,000 assignment fee of the contract. They're pretty much a middleman between holding a contract, and they're going to give that contract to an end buyer, which is me in this scenario.
Do you just Google wholesalers to find them and start relationships? Is that how you did it?
I just went into the local real estate groups of the areas I want to invest. So I'm in all the you just type in Arkansas wholesalers, DFW wholesalers, get into those groups and tell them who you are and tell them what you do.
Okay.
Yeah. And one thing I want to tell you about that too, and finding those good deals like that, is how Al said, partner with people. One thing you can learn, everything that you invest in yourself is now knowledge that you can give to someone else and possibly partner on a deal, because the wholesaler I'm partnering with, she now gets to learn the short-term rental space and I get a property out of it. That's the best part about it. Everyone learns and everyone can get paid you can get paid to learn.
That's really good. Hey, tell me what city in Arkansas?
That was Jacksonville, that deal.
Jacksonville, Arkansas?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We have a little cluster of ninjas in Little Rock. So I'm trying to see if I can introduce those folks together.
Colin.
Okay, let's go Lauren and then Glenn.
I think Glenn was first.
Okay.
I'll wait.
Glenn, what you got?
Thanks, Lauren. You mentioned Air Force Base, and I know you did also, Al, in the training, and also medical facilities. What do you think about college areas? So I'm looking at major college area in this in the Maryland suburb.
You can't ever miss with colleges too. One great thing about colleges, you have not only students that sometimes need housing, student housing is always great, but parents as well. Like I keep saying, if you can get 2 customers right off the bat, that's a great place to be in. So there, when you're doing colleges, you have the colleges, the students, the parents, and you also sometimes have faculty and staff. During the pandemic, a lot of teachers were looking for housing, like traveling teachers, they were looking for housing. And another thing is, another good thing, not good thing, but during the pandemic, a lot of like foreign students who couldn't go home, they needed housing. And where would they go? The place that has the corporate housing place fully furnished, I just pay them a one-time fee up front every month. So those are colleges you can't miss.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
That's good. Hey, Lauren, come on.
Yes, quickly, I'm wondering if you said you're near an air base. Do you have any tips for breaking into marketing other than what's common?
At an Air Force base?
Yes.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie, I got lucky. My dad's military and my aunt was military. So I had them go onto the base and tell them what we do. They just
Oh,
flew to the
you're
front.
so lucky,
Yeah.
because it's been difficult, but I know that's an untapped market, and I'm just curious what your in was there. Okay, great. Thank you.
One thing I'll tell you though, around the Air Force base is usually like your commercial stuff, you know, like places where people go to get cell phones, things like that. Start networking in those areas, letting people know what you do. You
Excellent.
can easily get in.
Oh, thank you so much. That's great. Thank you.
Hey,
Appreciate it.
Lauren, do you have a friend who's military?
Mhm.
I do not. I currently have a tenant who is he's a doctor doing a residency right now, but I'd like to get more. But he's very shy and I don't want to bother him or pressure him or anything. So I hadn't asked him about that.
I got a challenge for you.
Okay.
Is on your personal Facebook page,
Yeah.
ask if, hey, are anyone of you guys work at such and such airbase?
Okay.
Just do that.
Okay. Thank you.
And then you can send me the gift card because you're going to land something.
Awesome. Thanks,
So
guys.
let me get my lashes done. Send me something so I get my eyelashes done. Okay, let's get Alan. Aline, come on,
Hello.
man. How you doing?
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Micah. Thank you for hosting and being on here. I wanted to ask in regards if you've had any experience with corporate rentals or anything like that.
Yes. What do you mean with corporate rentals? Like, yeah, we do corporate rentals. Go ahead.
Yeah, like corporate housing. So working with like big companies. Because I'm in the Bay Area, so I go about my rental arbitrage looks slightly different. Kind of do it off of like a percentage profit split with the owner, because he doesn't have the greatest marketing skills, and I kind of fill that gap for him. So I've got about 5 properties, and we just landed a 6-bedroom, 3-bath deal out here in the Bay Area, which is a very, very nice area, part of town, close to the park. It has a garage and everything. So I'm trying to get into that space of corporate housing. So I didn't know if you had any, tips for that, best practices, because I'm newer into this. I've been focusing primarily on like traveling nurses and traveling professionals, and that's been doing well. But I'm thinking for this one, I just want to have one company dedicated to, just so I don't have to worry about the turn and burn, if you will.
I'm gonna give you one of Al's tips that we use. If on a property that size, you're gonna have to really, what I do suggest is getting on LinkedIn and finding all the major companies around you, getting on LinkedIn and getting in touch with their housing coordinators. And then you can also partner with companies like Dan Housing, CHPA, ALE. ALE is a great one with a 6-bedroom. The reason is because they actually work with insurance clientele. So they will pay you a high premium for something like that. And also, if you're doing a 6-bedroom, a good thing about 6 bedrooms is we had a guest on our podcast who was killing it doing this. He gets these big houses purposely, 6 bedrooms and 3 or 4 bathrooms, and he'll just rent them out by the room. Especially in a place like the Bay Area. He was out in Seattle doing this. And I'm like, you buy houses to rent them out by the room. But after I seen how much he was making per room, the numbers made sense. So you can also rent them out per room. You may be able to rent one out. He was renting them, I think, $1,200 a piece. And then he'd go up a little bit more if they got a private bathroom. So you can do it that way as well.
Okay. And I appreciate you bringing up Al's tip. I got to remember that and go back and look at that module. I do appreciate that. I do have that. I was curious. You said CHPA, ALE, and what was the other one?
I think Dan Housing, that's another one. They also
Dan.
always have, yeah.
So can I get your one more question, follow-up question to that? So it's an interesting aspect because in the Bay Area we have, more stringent, short-term rental laws to where it's like a 30-day minimum versus you being able to rent, 2 days at a time, 3 days at a time, whatever. Is there anything you would see in terms of navigating that might be more beneficial, or have you ever had to deal with those type of circumstances?
The first place I was talking about with my condo, we actually had to shut down and go the full corporate route because we were under 30 days. So with a 6-bedroom under 30 days, I think though that by room rental might be really good for you because most of those people are going to be in there for 30 plus days. Are you close to a hospital or a medical district?
Yes.
Okay, so if you are, and if you get 6 traveling nurses, I don't know how much the going rate is out there, but if you can get 6 traveling nurses in one place, if paying you per room, I'm pretty sure you could make some nice cash flow off that.
Okay. Oh, that's perfect. Okay.
Hey, let me jump on Aline, I just posted some sales copy in our private Facebook group, and you can grab that. That was sent to me by one of the corporate housing providers of America, CHPA, that I'm a member of. It is a pricey membership, but you can get on their mailing list. If you grab sales copy like that and combine that with a LinkedIn, you upgrade your LinkedIn account so that you can send email directly to the housing provider. That's plug and go right there, man. I would just do that for especially for if it's a really nice 6-bedroom house with a garage in the Bay Area. That's like that's like you got the golden ticket.
Exactly. And I'm just trying to, I'm so excited that my head's just spinning. I'm like, oh man, I finally got the golden goose. So I just want to strategically do it right and execute. So no, appreciate the feedback.
Upgrade your LinkedIn and go with that. And this will be the time to have some good branding under you, because a housing provider is not going to send someone from their C-suite to someone who acts new. Yeah, this is the time to have the branding underneath you, because you're in the big leagues now, man. You are in the big leagues. You got to hide the diapers.
I appreciate you saying that. So it's funny you mentioned that, because I mean I've got about 10 reviews on Airbnb, and I've got a good track record. I've hosted over 600 nights. So I mean, I'm just putting all these things on my website. So I've got the web presence. I don't have the SEO and all that yet, but I mean, isn't that good enough in order to be able to close a deal, or should I be doing more in terms of branding what you're talking about?
Mike, I'll let you answer that first.
Yes.
I'll be too harsh.
Yes, you need to be doing more on branding. 10 Airbnb reviews don't mean much. Your question should be, how do you turn those 10 Airbnb reviews into 10 Google reviews? So then your company is standing out, on a bigger, broader scale. What I would suggest for you to do is, okay, if you have those 10 Airbnb reviews, how do you get into their contact information to tell them to leave you a review on Furnish Finder, leave you a review on Google? Because those reviews, in my opinion, hold more weight, especially if you're trying to branch out and these companies are going to be looking at you and they say, hey, this guy doesn't have any Google reviews, but you tell them you have Airbnb reviews. Do you really fit the corporate housing model? So definitely, go hard on the branding, and always make sure. One thing I would tell you is have a way to get all the people who stay with you on Airbnb, any platform, have a way to get their contact information, email, phone number, first name, last name. Phone number is optional because phone text marketing is a little bit invasive at times, but if you can get it, get it.
Okay.
Well said. Aline, are you listening? I'd be a little more harsher, but
no, I want you to be harsh. I want you to be harsh.
Yeah, Airbnb reviews don't mean squat when you're trying to get into the league that you're trying to go. No one's going to think you're a pro that's where the amateurs are. We want you to get your Yelp reviews, get your Google reviews up, anything and everywhere besides just Airbnb, where that's where you have your training wheels on.
Okay.
Okay.
And I last question. And
Go ahead.
then so what should my target be? I know we're trying to get as many as possible, right? But I mean, if we're managing so many different, properties, talking to clients, what reviews, how many reviews should I be targeting for? Should I be targeting for like 5? I know 3 on Airbnb is one of Al's tips, right? So you can actually get, I think, solidified, if I'm not mistaken. So is there a certain amount that I should be like, all right, at the minimum, this is a good start, and the training wheels are off. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, for the sake of time, let me jump in. So Google gets 95% of the traffic on the internet. So let's just pay attention to Google. They measure their reviews first. They measure Google reviews first. So you want to stack that up. Say get to 3. They measure Facebook marketplaces, right? As soon as you Google a company, you see that they're measuring Facebook business page, and Yelp. All those things send backlinks to your website. You need your own website. And Google's measuring those to see what your authority is. And of course, you need a Google listing, which is being on Google Yellow Pages. I have a module all about that. But the first priority, if you're just looking for the bare minimum, which I don't like that conversation about what's just the minimum I can do. I don't like that at all. But the world is Google. The Google has the internet. You have to play their game. You have to have a Google listing, and you have to have Google reviews.
Okay.
That's the single most important thing that you can do. And then build out from there so that you stand out. Yeah.
Okay.
Mike, I'm gonna let you off the hook, man. We're coming up to our hour point here.
That was a good one. I love how you said that. Google gets 95% of the traffic.
Period.
Totally obvious. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, if you can check this, what the Marriott CEO says about Airbnb. They're not worried about Airbnb at all. They're worried about Google.
Ooh.
They're worried about Google, and because that controls everything. That's the flow. Hey, everybody, thanks for joining us for this June. I want you guys to give Micah some love. Where do you want us to go? And we want to plug your podcast and wherever else you want us to go.
Yeah, you can follow my podcast. We're on everywhere you listen to podcasts. We just now got on YouTube. We're just now starting to get on YouTube.
Say the name again.
Live, Let, Thrive.
One more time.
Live, Let, Thrive.
All right, good.
Our podcast, and Al's gave us the honor of coming on. He's been a guest on there as well. Yeah, you can follow us on Instagram mainly. I'm on Instagram all the time, Instagram and Facebook. Add me, and yeah, I'm always giving as much information as I possibly can. And the podcast is where I give it all away for free. So definitely follow.
All right, give us those Instagram handles.
Instagram handle, my first name, last name, all is one word. That's on I think I'm Micah Artis, all is one word, MykaArtis on IG, and then Live, Let, Thrive, all is one word on Instagram as well.
All right. Hey, thank you so much, man. I will send you like a McDonald's gift card.
Thank you. And thank you. And I learned a lot, and I love coming on with you.
All right, folks, you guys take care, and I'll see you guys all next month. And be sure to check in with us in the Facebook group. I'm trying to pour things out to you guys and give you guys the latest. So take care. You guys be safe.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Al, thanks so much.